I kissed my father's best friend in his own kitchen, while his wife stood in the doorway holding her phone like a loaded gun. My name was already ruined before I could even step back. He didn't deny it, I didn't either. The whole town would see the proof, and my father would see me as something he could never forgive. His hand stayed on my jaw, heat bleeding through the chaos, eyes locked like he was daring me to regret it. But when the door slammed and the world closed in, I had to wonder, was that night the worst mistake of my life, or the only thing that's ever felt real? I didn't hear the glass hit the tile until it shattered like a shot. I ran. Bare feet slapped the porch, humid night pressing like a hand over my mouth. Someone yelled my name, first hers, then his. I didn't look back. If I saw his face I would stop, and stopping would end me. 10 minutes earlier I'd been in his kitchen. Daniel Harris, me father's best friend, stood too close while ice sweated in our glasses. He said my name like he was testing whether it still fit. Headlights swept the window, a door slammed. His wife's voice came from the doorway, sharp as a snapped bone. "What is this?" He moved before I did, big frame stepping between us, voice low, the way you talk to a fuse. "Go, Ethan." I hesitated. The photograph happened as my hand closed on the knob. A white flash, a chirp, proof. I burst into the yard. The smell of cut grass met the iron taste in my mouth. Fences meant nothing in a town that knew everything. I vaulted the hedge, tore my palm on a nail, and didn't stop until the old toolshed swallowed me. Tin walls, oil, rain beginning. The flashlight found me first. A white circle burned my face, then slid to my bleeding hand. "You lost?" Daniel asked. "Don't." My throat scraped. "Don't look at me like that." "Like what?" He set the light on a shelf, hands free, eyes tired and kind in the dim. He took my wrist, turned my hand, let me see. His thumb steadied the cut. Something in me steadied too. "She took a picture," I said. "I know." He tore a rag and pressed it to my palm. "Shall go to your father. She already called him," I whispered, hearing the smash again. He wrapped my hand and didn't let go. "I shouldn't have let you in tonight. You told me to come. I thought I could control it." Rain thickened, drumming. The shed dimmed to one breathing room. We stood too close because there was nowhere else to stand. "Say something true," I said. He shut his eyes, opened them. "I wanted you to stay." A truck idled on the road. Through a warped plank I saw my father's headlights comb the ditch. Daniel's body went still. Mine folded into his shadow until the engine moved on and the night exhaled. "This is going to get ugly," he said. "It already is." He slid the bolt across the door. The soft metal sound went through me. He shrugged off his flannel and shoved it at my chest. "Put this on." "You want me covered?" I asked, "or hidden?" "Both." I didn't move. The shirt slid down my stomach. His eyes followed, then flicked away. My phone buzzed. 3 calls, 8 texts, 1 voicemail. "Come home now." I deleted it. My finger shook and hit call back by accident. I killed the screen like it would bite. "Ethan." His voice was a warning and a mercy. "I can't go back there, I know." His gaze searched me, careful as touch. "We survived tonight." Rain found a screw hole and drew a line down his forearm. I reached without thinking and wiped it with his shirt still in my hand. My knuckles skimmed his skin. He didn't flinch, neither did I. Footsteps crunched outside. We turned to stone. A knuckle tapped the tin, young and mean. "Ryan, Dad, you in there?" Daniel pointed down. "Stay, yeah," he called. Fixing the mower in the dark, the handle twitched. The bolt held. "Mom's losing it." She called, Cole." "I know," Daniel said. "Go home." Silence. Footsteps drifted away. When he turned back, fear and want were stitched into one expression. "This is insane," I said. "Probably, and you're still here. So are you." Something like choice opened in my chest and scared me more than the knock had. I put on his flannel because my hands needed a job. Heat moved across my shoulders like a palm. He watched, then looked at the floor as if that might save us. "No more rooms," he said. "No more doors. Nothing she can use." His eyes brushed my mouth and fled. "Do you understand me?" I nodded. I didn't. I understood enough to ache. The shed breathed. I could hear my heartbeat, then his, then mine again, as if we were passing it back and forth. Another car slowed. Tires hissed and stopped. Light knifed through a crack and cut a bright stripe across my chest. "Daniel," my father called, careful and public. Daniel didn't move. He looked at me and made a tiny gestureon finger down, then in, as if he could tuck me deeper into shadow. Daniel, my father called again. Boots on the path. We need to talk. About what? You know about what? The world narrowed to the thin line of light on the floor. I pressed my back to the wall and closed my eyes. My pulse counted out a choice I didn't want to make. Not like this, I told myself. I choose something else. I opened my eyes. My hand hovered, shaking. Metal ticked in the heat. I pictured the photograph on Martha's screen, my father's jaw locking, the town's mouth opening wide. I pictured Daniel in the doorway between his life and mine, choosing the one that hurt less. My stomach turned. Ethan, he whispered, not a command this time, not even advice. My name worn and careful, like he'd been saving it for a night when saying it might change something. The bolt was steel, a verdict in my palm. If I open it, I said, there's no going back. There wasn't the second you walked into my kitchen. I thought of every summer I'd spent pretending I didn't watch him watch the world. I thought of how easy it would be to lie again and call that safety. Boots stopped on the other side of the door. The knob rattled once. Son, my father called softer. Daniel's eyes didn't leave mine. Choose. I reached for the bolt. I slid the bolt halfway and froze. My father's breath pressed through the door, slow and furious. Daniel's hand covered mine warm, steady. One shake, not yet. Garage, he called. Tomorrow. Boots scraped. 8 o'clock. Tires rolled away. The bolt dropped back with a small metal verdict. Sit, Daniel said. He flipped a toolbox, cleaned my palm with water from an oil jug. The sting lit my eyes. He blew on the cut without thinking. Heat ran up my arm like warning that felt like mercy. You okay? No. Good. Men who say yes tonight are lying. We waited through the rain. He set his ring beside the flashlight like a coin he no longer trusted. I slept crooked against the wall, listening to him not sleep. Gray bled into the tin. He handed me coffee in a chipped mug. You can't go home. Your father will make it a lesson. He already has lessons. This one would have your name and your wife. Martha doesn't guess, she decides. She called him because she wanted a war. At 8, my father stood in Daniel's driveway in his Sunday jacket like a deputy without a badge. I watched through a crack. Hidden, son, coward. Where is he? My father asked. Who? Daniel said. She showed me a picture. It's a picture, Daniel said. Not a confession. Ethan comes home now. He's not here. He's my son, and my friend, Daniel said. Truth that satisfied no one. My father left a business card on the hood like Wed become a case. The truck took the quiet with it. Daniel came back and set the card in my palm. Call him. Later. Later is how men get owned. He studied me. I said nothing. He sighed. Tonight, 9, the garage. If you come, it's because you choose it. He walked me out the back, the long, secret way. Main Street watched me buy bandages. Ryan slid up beside me at the register, reflection loud in the glass. Sleep well, neighbor. Fine. Mom put the photo in favorites. Dad hates favorites. He grinned without eyes. You should run from what? From whoever you think he is. I washed my hand in the creek and sat under the bridge counting engines and lies. A text popped from an unknown number. You have until tonight. Then I tell the church. No name. I deleted it. It didn't delete me. 9 arrived like a held breath. The garage door was half open. A fan stirred heat and sawdust. Daniel waited in a white T-shirt with a look men wear to funerals. He locked the door and snapped on a single lamp-owned private son. Rules, he said. You talk first. Im scared, I said. And I hate that it's true. Fear keeps you from walking into fire with your eyes closed. Then why are you here? Because last night I chose and am still choosing. A workbench sat between us like it could save us. I traced a groove. He watched my hand like a fuse near gasoline. Your wife texted me, I said, or someone who enjoys being you. She doesn't pretend. What did it say that I have until tonight? She always wanted a crowd. He rubbed his eyes. We want give her one. How? We breathe. We tell the truth when we have to, nothing when we don't. And we don't touch where a camera can see. Show me your hand, he added. I held it out. He peeled the bandage. His breath slid over my skin. His thumb settled on my pulse. Mine matched without permission. Does it hurt only when you stop? He didn't stop. The lamp hummed. Outside, a car door shut. Another. Voices. The fan stuttered. Martha, he said, and my father, I answered. He killed the lamp. The garage became breath and shadow. Behind the tarp, he whispered. I slipped between lumber and a hanging drop cloth. His shirt brushed my mouth. Sawdust tasted like old summers. Keys worked at the lock, the door surrendered. Perfume and aftershave entered like enemies with manners. "Family meeting," Martha sang. "Where is he?" my father asked. "Who?" Daniel said. "Ethan," my father said. "My son and my husband," Martha added, polishing the word my. I saw Daniel only as a shadow on the back wall. It didn't flinch. "He's not here," he said. "He's a bad liar," Martha said, laying her phone on the bench. "I prefer evidence. Put it away. Make me." Leather creaked. The tarp quivered with my breath. "If you dragged my boy into your mess," my father said, "we're done." Maybe we were done. Daniel said softly, "The first time you decided what a man is allowed to be." Silence pressed its thumb into the room. Martha's camera app clicked open. Daniel's hand settled flat on the tarp, inches from my mouth. He didn't pull it back. He didn't give me away. "Leave," he said. "Both of you, or what?" Martha asked. He didn't answer. The quiet did the work. Keys scraped again. The door closed. The lock turned. We didn't move until the fan remembered itself, and the night stitched back together. He let the tarp go and switched on the lamp. We stood in the thin ring of light like men at the edge of a field on fire. "First contact," he said. "Now we see what it costs." He was close enough for heat to cross the space between us. I didn't touch him. He didn't touch me. The distance said everything we hadn't dared. "Tomorrow," he said. "If there is one," I answered. We listened to the town breathe like a witness that would never testify. A siren wailed far off, then died. My phone buzzed one Sino name, just a line. "Tomorrow noon. Proof." Daniel watched my face, not the screen. "Choose," he said. I nodded and stayed still. Then I didn't sleep after the garage. I lay in my old bed, staring at the ceiling fan until the shadows became shapes. Every creak in the house sounded like someone stepping toward my door. By 11, the air felt too thick to breathe. I slid the window open and stepped into the yard, his flannel still on my back, the scent of sawdust and rain tangled in the fabric. Daniel's workshop light was off, but the side door was unlocked. He was there, sandpaper in one hand, his wedding ring on the bench, his eyes on me like he'd been waiting without admitting it. "You came," he said. "You left the door open. That wasn't a question, I know." We stood with the workbench between us, the heater in the corner ticking like a clock that only counted the wrong moments. My fingers brushed the bandage on my hand. He noticed. "Let me see. I'm fine. You hate being taken care of." "I hate needing it." He came around the bench, slow, deliberate. His hands stayed open until I let mine fall into them. The gauze peeled away, the cut stung in a way that remembered him. He blew on it, and the heat went straight up my arm. Too close now I could count the gray in his beard, see the small flecks of sawdust clinging to his throat. "Hold still," he murmured. "Tell me what we are." "Men with bad timing," he said, eyes locked on mine. "Men who can't unknow a thing once it's true." The heater clicked off. The silence swelled between us. His thumb lingered on my pulse longer than it should have. He reached for a T-shirt from a drawer. "Yours smells like rain and trouble. Put this on, it's yours. Tonight it isn't." I changed with his back turned, feeling the weight of his attention even when he didn't look. When he finally faced me, his gaze caught on the skin above the collar and stayed there a second too long. "My father texted you," I guessed. "Be a man," he said flatly. "He thinks that's something you can force someone into." Headlights slid over the ceiling. Both of us froze until they passed. The dark felt deliberate now. "Come here," he said, voice low enough to feel. I moved until my knees hit the bench. His hip brushed mine and stayed. His hand rose, stopping just short of my chest, hovering like the air between us was alive. "Tell me no, I want, and if I tell you to stop, then you'll step back." We held there, bound by almost touch. His fingertips found my jaw, tracing the edge where skin warms faster than breath. "Stop me," he whispered. "I don't want to. That isn't the same as should." We ran out of should. His forehead came close enough that I could feel his breath, but he didn't kiss me. The space said more than lips could. I could taste the bourbon he hadn't drunk, and he could taste the word I didn't say. A car door slammed outside, laughter fading. We didn't move. He stepped back first, leaving a cold behind. "I have rules," he said. "I'm listening. No bedrooms, no pictures, no lies we can't bury. What about hands? Hands find their own rules." He took my wrist, palm up this time, as if I was something head-built but waist sure could hold. His thumb pressed the heel of my hand. "If we do this," he said quietly, "it won't be kind. I don't want kind. What do you want, you? He shut his eyes, opened them into a decision, and stepped closer chest to chest without weight. Heat bleeding through cotton until I forgot which body it came from. He didn't kiss me. Instead, he pressed his mouth to my cheekbone, slow enough that I could count the seconds and keep them for later. His hand slid up my ribs, stopping just short of the place where answers live. When he finally let go, the space between us felt charged enough to burn. Tomorrow, he said, we face whoever's coming, and if they see us, then they see nothing we don't want them to. He fixed my collar. His knuckle brushed my throat. My knees went soft. He didn't apologize. I walked home the long way, the night heavy and warm, carrying his heat with me like something stolen. At my window, I turned to check the workshop. The light was out. Only the dark remained, the kind that hides what matters most. Noon came like a court summons. I didn't go to the workshop. I went to Main Street, where everyone in Maple Hollow came to buy coffee and collect rumors. Ryan was leaning against the window of the hardware store, a paper cup in his hand and a smile that didn't belong to him. You should see it, he said before I could pass. See what? The picture? I didn't answer. Thought y'd be more interested in your own face, he added, smirking. Mom says the church ladies loved it. The cup crumpled in my hand without me meaning to. I walked away before my legs made the decision for me. By the time I reached the workshop, Daniel was outside, hands on his hips, jaw set like concrete. What did you do? I asked. Martha's been talking. I can't stop her. You could try. I have. That's why she's not in jail for trespassing. He turned away, and that hurt more than the words. Daniel, she told your father, he said. The air between us snapped, and you were going to tell me when. I'm telling you now. No, you're telling me after they've already decided who I am. I stepped closer, but he didn't move. His eyes were tired, not sorry. You think this is just about you, he said. It was my name in her mouth. It's my life on her phone. The sound of a truck engine pulled both our heads around. My father's pickup rolled into the driveway, Martha Seuve right behind it. They got out together, not friends, not enemies, but united in the one thing that could ruin us. Martha carried her phone like a weapon. My father's eyes skipped over Daniel and pinned me in place. Inside, now, I didn't move. Daniel stepped forward. John, don't you get to talk to me, my father snapped. Not after this, Martha smiled, tapping her screen. It's amazing how one picture can tell the whole story. It doesn't tell mine, I said. It tells enough. Daniel's hand closed around my arm, not gentle, not rough, but claiming. My father saw it and started across the yard. Let go of him. No, Daniel said. The distance vanished. My father shoved him. Daniel shoved back. The movement pulled me between them. Stop, I shouted, but it didn't stop. Martha was filming now, her voice high with satisfaction. Ryan's truck slowed at the curb, window down, eyes wide. We had an audience. You're tearing this family apart, my father said. Then maybe it wastes much of a family, Daniel shot back. Something in me broke with the sound of those words. I shoved Daniel away. You're making it worse, I told him. I'm trying to keep you safe by burning every bridge I have left. The yard was silent except for our breathing and Martha's phone recording. I wanted to smash it. I wanted to smash everything. Daniel stepped closer, but I backed up. If you walk away now, he started. I have to. No, you want to. Maybe both. I turned toward the road. My father's voice followed me. Don't come home until you remember who you are. Daniel didn't call after me. Not this time. I didn't go home. The road out of Maple Hollow is a 2-lane scar through cornfields, and I walked it until the sun dipped low enough to turn the asphalt into heat under my shoes. My phone buzzed every mile, my father, unknown numbers, one text from Ryan that just said, "Nice show." I threw it into the ditch. By the time the streetlights came on, the air was heavy and the sky pressed low, promising rain. I ducked into the old train depot roof gone, walls leaning, and lay down on a wooden bench. It smelled like dust and something dead. I told myself I'd sleep. I didn't. Sometime past midnight, headlights swept the broken windows. A truck door slammed, boots on the floorboards, Ethan, Daniel's voice, low, cutting through the dark. He found me by the bench, crouched, hands on my shoulders. You're freezing. I'm fine, liar. He stripped off his jacket and pulled me up. I didn't resist. Outside the rain had started, cold enough to bite. He opened the truck door. You're coming with me. I can't. You will. The drive back was silent except for the rain hammering the roof. When we reached his garage, he shut the door behind us and flicked on a single lamp. "Sit," he said. I sat. He knelt in front of me, untying my soaked shoes, peeling off my socks. His hands were rough, warm. The kind of touch you remember for years because it came when you didn't deserve it. "You always find a way to bleed," he murmured. He handed me a towel, then a dry shirt. When I pulled it over my head, he was watching, not with hunger, with something harder to name. Something that wanted and warned at the same time. "Why'd you come?" I asked. "Because you didn't." The air between us thickened. His hand brushed my knee when he stood. It stayed there a second too long. "Daniel, don't start unless you're going to finish," he said quietly. I didn't answer. The moment stretched heavy with the sound of rain. Then 3 sharp knocks on the garage door. Daniel's eyes went cold. "Stay here." He cracked the door. Voices spilled in Martha's, sharp as glass, and a man's eye didn't know. "I told you I had proof," Martha said. "What do you want?" Daniel asked. "To make sure he's gone," the man replied. "Or everyone sees that video." Daniel stepped outside, shutting the door but not locking it. I moved to the window. In the wash of the security light, I saw Martha holding up her phone, Daniel standing too still. The man beside her, tall, clean cut, kept glancing toward the garage. My stomach twisted. When Daniel came back in, his jaw was tight. "They are not done," he said, "and they won't be until one of us is ruined." "Which one?" "Both." I stood, and for a moment we were face to face, close enough that the rain on his shirt touched my chest. His hand came up like it might cup my jaw, but he stopped just short. "If you stay tonight," he said, "you don't leave until I say so. Is that a rule? It's the only thing keeping us alive." Morning came like a dare. Daniel hadn't slept, I could tell by the way he moved, slow but wired, like every nerve was waiting for something to hit. We didn't speak while we ate the eggs he didn't really cook. At 10:17 the knock came, not a polite knock. 3 hard hits that rattled the door. Daniel glanced at me. "Stay here," but I followed him anyway. He opened the door to Martha, Ryan, and my father. Martha had her phone in her hand, screen lit, ready. My father's jaw was locked. Ryan looked like he'd just been invited to the best show in town. "You lied to me," my father said before anyone else spoke. "I didn't," Martha cut in. "I have the video, John. Want to see your son in your best friend's kitchen, looking like that?" The heat rushed into my face. Daniel didn't move, didn't deny it. "Say something," I hissed. "I told you last night they wouldn't stop," he said. My father's eyes burned through me. "Is it true?" I opened my mouth, but Daniel's voice cut over mine. Yes, the word hit harder than I expected. Martha smiled like she'd just won. Ryan laughed under his breath. My father stepped forward, finger in Daniel's chest. "You're dead to me. Wasn't trying to live for you," Daniel shot back. The tension snapped like a rope pulled too tight. My father shoved him. Daniel shoved back. I stepped between them, but Daniel grabbed my arm, pulling me to his side like it was already decided where I belonged. "Let go," I said. "Not a chance." The look in my father's eyes told me this was it, no coming back. "You think this is love," he said. "It's just ruin in slow motion." And then Daniel turned to me, voice low but sharp. "Tell me you don't want this, right now, and it'll walk away." My chest felt like it was folding in on itself. My father waiting, Martha filming, Ryan smirking. "I can't," I said. Daniel's hand slid to my jaw, pulling me into a kiss before I could breathe. It wasn't soft. It was fire meeting gasoline, reckless and unstoppable. My father's shout broke through, but Daniel didn't stop until he chose to. When he pulled back, his breath was shaking. "This was a mistake," I said. "Then why didn't you stop me?" I didn't have an answer. My father turned and walked away without another word. Martha followed, smug. Ryan lingered just long enough to say, "You have no idea what's coming." When they were gone, Daniel closed the door, leaning against it like it was the only thing holding him up. "Now it's just us," he said. "No," I told him. "Now it's everyone." Daniel didn't speak for hours after they left. He sat at the kitchen table, ring rolling between his fingers like a coin that might land on either side and change everything. I stood by the window, watching the driveway as if someone might come back. No one did. By late afternoon the rain had stopped, but the air felt heavy, like the storm hadn't really gone anywhere. I wanted to ask what now, but the words wouldn't come. "I'll fix this," he said finally. "How? By taking the hit myself." "That's not fixing it." That's disappearing. He looked at me for the first time since morning. You're young, you can walk away. You told me to choose, and am telling you again, choose yourself. The words sat in the room like broken glass. I didn't touch them. When night came, I packed my bag. He didn't try to stop me. Instead, he handed me the flannel ID worn the first night in the shed. In case it gets cold, he said, voice almost steady. I stepped to the door, then turned. If I leave now, it's not because I want to. I know. His eyes dropped to the floor. If you stay, it's because you can survive what's coming, and you can't. I opened the door. The night was still, the kind of still that makes you hear your own heartbeat. I took 3 steps before I looked back. He was standing there, hands in his pockets, shoulders tight like he was holding back the word stay. Will you call me? I asked. Not unless you call first. I nodded and walked into the dark. The gravel crunched under my shoes. The distance grew until he was just a shadow in the doorway. At the edge of the road, I stopped. If he called my name, I'd turn around. I'd run back. He didn't. The last thing I heard was the soft click of the door closing, and it sounded exactly like a goodbye neither of us would say out loud.